Ladies and gentlemen, there is a story that recently came out that I wanted to do on this podcast about Donald Trump. If he returns back to the White House, he's going to use civil rights era laws to focus on anti white racism, as if they've had the hardest time in this country when it comes down to racism. You know what, y'all? I just see this as another attempt to try to make it illegal to talk about our history and the things they have done to us. Just like down in Florida, where Trump is going to go in the White House and take what's going on down in Florida and bring it on a national level. So, a Trump spokesperson recently said that anybody connected with Biden's policy will be terminated immediately, which I don't have no problem with that because, you know, Biden's policies does not help us, but as you can see, Trump, his policies are never going to help us either. So what they're saying is Trump's Justice Department, if he gets an opportunity to get back in office, will eliminate programs. Now we see all the DEI being eliminated all across this country. Things that they put in place after the lynching of George Floyd is now being rolled back, and any positions in companies associated with DEI is terminated. So you lost your job. And this is going to happen on a much larger scale. So, what Trump is trying to do is apply civil rights laws to white people because, according to him and, his MAGA fools and everybody following him, white discrimination seems to be a thing, which I don't see that as a thing ever all throughout history, but this is what they're trying to do. So it's another effort to stifle us as a people and give people that already have power more power. That's all I see it as. So, those of you that want to run out here and vote Trump, just remember what you're voting for. If you think Donald Trump is not going to get in office and look out for his people more than anyone else, you got another thought coming. And this is even more proof of him using the legal system to benefit the same people that have been benefiting from it all this time. You know, just pay attention to what's being said. You had Donald Trump talking about his indictments is what's attracting black voters to him. And then he said, black people think he's being discriminated against. Now, y'all, I talk to black people on a regular basis. I have never come across one that said Donald Trump is being discriminated against. But look at what he is setting this up for. Okay. So the laws that our forefathers fought for are now going to be used for people that were never discriminated against in this country. And Trump is, this is one of the number one things he wants to do when he goes into office. But y'all, I want you to keep something in mind. The black farmers were promised an opportunity to get money when Biden went into office, and you saw how Biden rescinded all of that. And they are still sitting in the same situation that they were in during the first Trump administration and Biden's administration, and nothing has changed for them. So when it comes down to black farmers, you got federal judges blocking money that could help them, and neither administration is doing a thing about it. So I know some people want to elevate Donald Trump. Look, his reaction after Charlottesville can never be rescinded. He said there were good people on both sides. That's what he said. So y'all look like he's going to ramp up all of this white discrimination when he gets in office. He's going to ramp it all up. Just know what you're voting for. Donald Trump is not going to be the same president that he was in his first term. You know why? Because we are now in the final days of judgment. And that is going to shape how these people will rule. This is why you're seeing Joe Biden flooding the country with these migrants, because it's in fear of their very weak, low birth rates. And they're trying to find another way to bring an alternative to the table. And then that will justify them staying in power, because, we classify these people south of the border as white. So that means there's still a white population, a big one here in America. Well, when you say Hispanics are bigger than the black population, well, yeah, if you're going to help them come in here illegally, yeah, they would be. You're helping the situation so that it will be that way. It's not happening that way. Y'all, listen, they always talk about how these people are having all these babies. Oh, they have so many babies. Well, that might be true, but a lot of their big population boom is not coming from the birth of Hispanic children. It's coming from the illegals coming across the border. Pay attention. It's not coming from a bunch of babies. It's coming from a bunch of grown people and children coming across the border. So, yeah, if their numbers are big, that's because people in this country help them inflate their numbers. It's not a natural phenomena that's going on with their growth. These people are in so much fear, they're doing this out of desperation. We already know it's not going to work, but in their minds, they got this "we need to rule forever" crap up in their head. And we know that's not going to work. But this is what's happening. So Trump may not be doing the same thing as Biden, but what he will do when he gets in office will be equally as devastating. So it'll get to the point where you won't be able to say nothing. These folks will jump up and sue. That's what's going on down in Florida. If any teacher or anyone say anything, in regards to inclusion or teach the real Black history, those people are automatically ran off. They're terminated. And with with what Trump is planning on doing, that's going to take everything nationwide. Just remember that. So, y'all, this concludes my podcast for today. Please, if you haven't listened to my previous podcast, take some time and listen to those. and put on the notification. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming podcasts. Peace, family.